Hello, everyone. This is the Buzzard, and I thought we would take another look at the Japanese grammar structure. This time, as you can see, I have put the video game down. I know that might seem surprising, considering how obviously entertained I was by the video game. Instead, I thought we might look at a book. Now, the book I have here, I found this at a used book fair, and it is called Modern Japanese History Fundamental Knowledge. And it covers 265 items, important historical events and topics that form the core of modern Japanese history. And let's see here. This book was, I can get there. Originally published in Showa 47, so 1972, and this revised edition that I have with additional information about topics such as the return of Okinawa to Japan was published in 1986. It has three editors. It isn't written by a single author. The editors are Akira Fujiwara, a professor at Hitotsubashi University, Seiichi Imai, who is a professor at Yokohama City University, and Shinobu Oe, who is a professor at Ibaraki University. So these guys, you can assume that they know what they're talking about. So it's divided. The book is divided into each page has its own topic that it covers, and it goes from the just before the Meiji Restoration up until I think the last. Let's see what the last one is. The last topic is about Japan's emergence as an economic power. And the one before it is about the return of Okinawa, and then the role of the topic on 263 is the treaty between Japan and South Korea and the Vietnam War. So it goes pretty recent, but I thought we would take a look. I just chose one at random and wrote out the contents. This is about the Washington Conference. It is topic 128 in your textbook if you're following along with your copy at home. So instead of scanning the page, I just wrote what it says. We're not going to be doing this entire book or anywhere near enough for it to be anything other than fair use, I think. So let's take a look at it here. So the first thing, the title of this article is Washington Kaigi. So that means the Washington Conference. The Washington, and this is, you're going to learn quite a bit about the Washington Conference, but it was the conference that was held just after World War I that set limits on battleship construction between Japan, England, and the United States, among other things. And they're going to tell us all about it here. Okay. So, topic 1, Daiichi Taisen Go. I'm tripping over my words. Daiichi Taisen Go no Rekkyo no Kenkan Kyoso. So let me try that again. Almost like a tongue twister. Daiichi Taisen Go no Rekkyo no Kenkan oh man, I can't say it. Kyoso. Daiichi Taisen Go no Rekkyo no Kenkan Kyoso. Alright. So Daiichi Taisen, these first 5 characters here, that means World War I. Daiichi, these two, mean first. I guess the first 3 here, because Daiichi means first. And Taisen means a great war. And then this character go means after. So post World War One. And then Recchio means the great powers. Italy, Germany, France, Russia, Japan, United States. Am I forgetting anybody? Could be. And then, so these two no's are noun to noun connecting no's. This no connects great powers to post World War One, and this no connects great powers to this word, which is Kinkan Kyoso. And Kinkan means naval construction, and Kyoso means a race. And so this is an arms race for naval construction, Kinkan Kyoso. All right. So this title would be the naval build-up, the race for naval construction between the great powers, or among the great powers, after World War One. Then we got the first sentence here. Daiichiji Taisen go. Try that again. Daiichiji Taisen shūryō go mo rekkyo no aida de wa sensō chū kara no kenkan kyōsō ga tsuzuite ita. Okay. So this Daiichiji Taisen go right here after World War One or post World War One. This kind of means the same thing, but this, instead of just saying after using that go, they use shūryō, which is like conclusion. So Daiichiji Taisen shūryō go. So after the conclusion of World War One, this mo means also. And then rekkyo no aida. Aida means between or amongst. So rekkyo is great powers. So rekkyo no aida means among the great powers. And then dewa is it's a grammatical structure that fits this. Rekkyo no aida dewa. So among the great powers. Senso chu, that means wartime, during the war. Senso means a war. Chu means while it's going on. So senso chu means while the war is going on. And kara means from. And then we have Kenkan Kyoso again. So the naval build-up race. And then we're going to connect this senso chu kara and Kenkan Kyoso with a no. And I don't really know why you do that, but this is the correct way to do it. Sometimes you just have to memorize the pattern because it happens the same way every time. So senso chu kara no Kenkan Kyoso, which means the naval arms race that is continuing on from the time of the war. And then ga is your subject marker, so that means that the focus of the sentence is this senso chu kara no kenkan kyoso. And then tsuzuite means it continued. So altogether, this sentence, Daiichiji Taisen shūryō go mo rekkyo no aida de wa senso chu kara no kenkan kyoso ga tsuzuite ita. So the naval arms race between the great powers that had gone on since the war continued after the conclusion of World War One. Kenkan Kyoso no chushin wa Bei Nichi no Sankoku de atta. So the central, so this means like the center or the core, and Kenkan Kyoso, the naval arms race. And so the core of the naval arms race was the three countries, so deata means was the three countries of Bei, the United States, A, the United Kingdom, and Nichi, Japan. So Bei A Nichi means United States, UK, Japan. So the center of the naval arms race were the three countries of US, UK, Japan. Nihon wa Amerika no Tai Kenkan Keikaku ni taiko shite 1920 nen Taisho 9 nen Shichigatsu 戦艦と巡洋戦艦各8隻を主力とするいわゆる88艦隊の計画を立てた。Okay, so Japan is our topic. Nihon wa. So because it's wa here, it means that everything after it, that the focus of the sentence is after this. So then we have America no Tai Kenkan Keikaku. So the America's Great Shipbuilding Plan. That's what this means. Great Shipbuilding Plan. America's Great Shipbuilding Plan. Ni unto Taiko, which is like resist or they're against it. Let's see what the dictionary actually says. Taiko is to like struggle against or something. Taiko. There are a lot of words. Yeah. Well, there we go. Oppose. Yeah. They opposed it. All right. So Japan opposed America's major shipbuilding plan. And in July, Shichigatsu of 1920, Senkyuhaku Nen, Japan, Keikaku o Tateta. So they formulated or set up a plan called Iwayuru, the 8-8 shipbuilding plan, or the 8-8 ship plan. Kantai just means like a group of ships, but it's the 8-8 plan to build ships. And what that was is Senkan to Junyo Senkan. So Senkan is a battleship, and Junyo Senkan is a cruiser. And so this tow is the and tow. So battleships and cruisers. Kaku, each. Haseki, so 8 ships of each of battleships and cruisers. O, direct object marker. Shuryoku tosuru. So shuryoku tosuru means to form the main force of something. So the whole sentence is Japan opposed the Great Shipbuilding Plan of America, and in July 1920 they established the so-called 8-8 plan to build 8 ships each of battleships and cruisers, and that would form the central core of the force. この県間競争は各国の財政にとって大きな負担となり、特に20年から21年にかけて戦後恐慌が広がると、軍縮のための国際会議開催の声が起こっていた。Okay? So the naval arms race made up a considerable burden. Okina futan made a considerable burden. Tonari means becomes. And for nitote, each country's kakkoku finances. Zaisei. So the naval arms race became a major burden for the finances of each country. Toku ni 20年から20年、21年にかけて戦後恐慌が広がると、especially when the post-war Sengo panic or financial panic. So Sengo Kyoko is like a stock market crash after the war, or a financial panic that happened between Niju Nen and Niju Ichinen. So between 1920 and 1921. So from Niju Nen Kara is from Niju Ichinen ni kakete. Now they don't say made here because they're talking about a period of time. Made means until, from this until this, right? But they're talking about the flow of time here. So that's why they're going to use ni kakete. So niju nen kara niju ichinen ni kakete means from 1921 going into 1921. The post-war panic hirogaru. Ga hirogaru. So ga, it means that the word before it gets the stress, and then hirogaru means it spreads. So the post-war panic spreads. Gunshuku no tame no kokusai kaigi kaisai no koe ga okoteta. So koe ga okoru means like a call for something. So they're saying here that Gunshuku no tame no kokusai kaigi kaisai. So there were calls for an international conference to be held for arms reduction. So the whole sentence is quite complicated because it goes all the way from here down to here. Kono kenkan kyoso wa kakoku no zaisei ni tote oki na futan to nari. So the arms race became a major burden for the finances of each country. Toku ni 20年から21年にかけて戦後恐慌が広がると、軍縮のための国際会議開催の声が起こっていた. So in particular, when the post-war panic that ran from 1920 into 1921 spread, calls began to be heard for the holding of an international conference for the purpose of arms reduction. しかし、軍縮を実現するためには、日米両帝国主義の総破の的となっている太平洋極東における問題も解決されねばならなかった. Okay. However, so that's what this word means. しかし, however, in order to realize arms reduction, the problems in the Pacific region and the Far East, which was the target of competition between the imperialists in Japan and the United States, had to be resolved. All right. So, yeah. So, for example, okay, Taiheiyo Kyokuto ni okeru mondai. So, problems inside ni okeru, the Pacific Ocean region, Taiheiyo. I'm adding region. Taiheiyo actually just means Pacific Ocean, but you wouldn't say that in English, so you'd have to say the Pacific region. And then Kyokuto means the Far East. And then here we have this verb conjugation, sareneba naranakatta. That means that it had to be done. Whatever it was, it had to be done. And this is a book, a written Japanese expression. In spoken Japanese, you would say shinakereba naranakatta or something along those lines. All right. I think this word is gunko. Let me look that up. It means like an expansion of the military, but I need to double check. And it is not in the regular dictionary. Let's look. Oh, we have a mystery word. All right. Let's draw it in. Whenever you don't know the word, you break out your electronic dictionary and draw it in. And we got one. Whoops. Now let's delete. Let's start all over again. One moment. I don't want to give you a incorrect reading for a word. Okay. It's having trouble reading my beautiful handwriting. There we go. And then this. And there is a possibility that when I typed it in, it didn't recognize it. It's gunkaku. It is not gunko, it's gunkaku. All right. So gunkaku is an arms race. Like, I knew what it meant. I just didn't know the pronunciation, the reading of the character. But that's gunkaku. Okay. アメリカは軍拡による経済的重圧から脱出するため、同時に、and here's another one. I haven't heard this spoken recently, if it's To Asia or Higashi Asia. I'm going to guess it's Higashi Asia. East Asia. All right. Okay. Doji ni Higashi Asia ni okeru Nihon no... oh boy. Here's another one. I think I know what this one is, but I'm not confident enough even to guess. And especially since I just missed the last one. And the second one's Cho. No doubt about that. But what's the first one? Bocho. Bocho. Okay. Alright. And so let me scroll up just a little bit here. Okay. Okay. 同時に東アジアにおける日本の膨張主義政策に対して米英の協調によって厳しい Okay. There's another one. Uh-huh. Yep. It is, well, exciting, isn't it? But this is how you learn. There's only one way to really get good at Japanese, especially reading, and that is to just look up everything that you don't know. A lot of people say that you shouldn't do that, that it slows you down too much, and I think you just have to be patient with it. Yeah, kosoku. Yeah. And it's better to just look it up again if you're not 100% sure than it would be to drill into your head an incorrect reading for a character. So that's kosoku. Alright, so let's try this again. 同時に東アジアにおける日本の膨張主義政策に対して米英の協調によって厳しい拘束を加えるため国際会議の開催を決意し21年7月海軍準備制限及び太平洋極東問題を討議するためワシントン会議を開くことを非公式に定義した。Wow, that is quite a sentence. That sentence goes all the way back up here. So this is another thing that, especially if you're translating, they'll occasionally throw a sentence at you that would be an entire paragraph in English. And sometimes, if you're really unlucky, they'll start talking about one thing at the beginning of the sentence, and then at the end of the sentence, they're talking about something completely different. So, let's see. At the beginning, アメリカは軍拡による経済的重圧から脱出するため. So, America, in order to escape the economic pressure that was being put on it through military expansion, and at the same time react to nitaishite. And at the same time, in order to put restrictions, heavy restrictions on Japanese expansionist policy through cooperation between the United States and the United Kingdom, decided to hold an international conference. So that's probably plenty for one sentence. So let me try to say that a little bit more smoothly. So in order to escape the economic pressures being put upon it by military expansion, America, and at the same time add restrictions. Restrictions? Yeah, constraints. Constraint. To curb. To curb. Well, maybe not even curb. To restrict. Restrain. To restrain. To put strict restrictions. That's not the best, most poetic phrasing. In order to add strict restraints on Japanese expansionist policies through cooperation between the United States and England, America decided to hold an international conference, period. Okay? And let's see. In July of 1921, so that means like it wasn't very formal. So let's look these words up. Okay. All right. So in July of 1921, the United States informally proposed to hold the Washington Conference in order to deliberate on naval preparations, restrictions on naval preparations, and problems in the Pacific region and the Far East. Okay. All right. Okay. 海軍軍縮にはアメリカ、イギリス、日本、フランス、イタリアの5カ国。太平洋極東問題に関してはその他中国、ベルギー、オランダ、ポルトガルを加えた合計7カ国が参加することになった。All right then. For the naval disarmament part of the conference, America, England, Japan, France, Italy, the 5 countries of America, England, Japan, France, and Italy would be participating. And in the area of problems in the Pacific region and the Far East, in addition to those, so Konohoka, so in addition to those countries, China, Belgium, Holland, and Portugal were also added for a total of 7 countries to participate. Okay. However, しかし、ソビエトロシア、極東共和国および中国の高等政府は会議の議題と、Hisetsu? Misetsu? Let's look that up. Misetsu. Is that right? That is right. Misetsu. Okay. 密接な関係を有することにもかかわらず会議への参加を拒否された。Okay. So, however, the Soviet Russia, Soviet Russia, so Soviet Russia, Kyokuto Kyowakoku, I had to look that up. Kyokuto Kyowakoku is the Far East Republic. Kyokuto Kyowakoku. It was an area in the Soviet Far East that existed in between the fall of Imperial Russia and its absorption into the Soviet Union. So it was a very short-lived country. And Oyobi, and that's another way to say and, Oyobi, Chugoku no Koto Seifu, China's Canton government. I'm guessing it was during the warlord period, and so there were multiple governments operating. I'm not sure. Wikipedia might have more information on what the Canton government was. I haven't looked it up. Okay, so these 3 countries, Soviet Russia, the Far Eastern Republic, and China's Canton government, so what's important comes after it, 会議の議題と密接な関係を有することにもかかわらず. That's a long one, but it makes one phrase. So, although, so ni mo kakawarazu means even though, in spite of. So, however, in spite of Soviet Russia, the Far Eastern Republic, and China's Canton government having having a close relationship or be closely connected to the topics, gidai, of the conference. So, kaigi no gidai is like the subjects going to be discussed at the conference. Kaigi no sanka o kyohi sareta. So, participation toward the conference was refused. So, in the beautiful English. However, even though Soviet Russia, the Far Eastern Republic, and China's Canton government had close ties to the subjects on the table for the conference, their participation in the conference was refused. All right, well, that's actually all I had planned to discuss. I thought it would take a lot longer than that, but here we are. And I'll do part 2, and as you can see, hey. Well, let's try that again. Here we go. This is what I need to move. The next one, part 2, is going to be Kaigun Gun Biseigen Mondai. So the problem related to limitations on naval preparedness. That's how I should have said it earlier. Kaigun Gunbi. So naval preparedness. Okay. So watch out for that. This is not nearly as long as I thought it would be. Until next time. And study hard.